Hello guys, my name is Ausra and welcome to my podcast Thinking in Sound. And today is episode number 11. And it will be about such question: is the organ an orchestra, a machine, or a living being? And when I told Vidas that I'm going to talk about this question, he said, "Oh no, who would want to listen about it?" Anyway, but I want to talk a little bit about it, so I will. And Vidas, if he does not like it, may not listen to it. So, well, definitely the organ is more than just a musical instrument, at least for me. I respect it too much and it's a big part of my life. But first of all, is the organ an orchestra? Yes, you could say that it is, because, at some point the organ became really popular instrument for symphonic music, and it was, at the end of the 19th century, beginning of the 20th century. If you would think about such a great French composers as Vidor, Auvergne, we wrote organ symphonies for the organ. And these symphonies are full scope of compositions that really can compete with any other symphony composed for the symphonic orchestra. And like think about César Franck's grand piece symphonique. It means we all treated organ as an orchestra. And if you would think about what symphonic organ could do, it really could even overshadow orchestra in some cases, because the diapason of the organ was much wider than the symphonic orchestra. Plus, think about it, how many resources do you need, to put symphonic orchestra to play? How many, people should be there, and on the organ bench you only need one person, and he or she, can play entire symphony for you. Plus, if you would think about all those symphonic transcriptions of symphonic music, how much of them are done for organists, to play, that people could enjoy, symphonic music in places where probably is not a possibility for them to hear a real orchestra playing. So I think you could definitely treat some kind of organs as an orchestra, because as I mentioned before, you have plenty of repertoire for it. Okay, now I'll sip some water from our Secret of Organ playing mug, and with this will let you to listen to some of my music. So now let me talk a little bit about if I think that organ is a machine. With some extent, yes, because it is a little bit like a machine. Think about all these mechanical, key actions and all the stuff that it's placed, inside of the organ. Actually, once Vidas and I had such a short excursion to the real windmill, in one of the tiny place in Lithuania called Ramygala. And I was really struck with, the similarities that I saw inside of that windmill, and being inside of like a big tracker mechanical organ. It has really some sort of similarities. So because of all those mechanisms and details and engineering stuff, you could definitely call an organ a machine. I don't think it would be offensive. And think about that time before the how was it called, like working revolution? No, industrial revolution. Yes, the organ and mechanical clock were the most sophisticated mechanism created by humans. So why not? Organ is a machine. And once again, think about, for example, like toy organs. Ones that you can hear, let's say, in the Netherlands, playing on the streets, basically you need either, to push a button or, I don't know, to turn the wheel and, the music plays. So basically these are toy organs, and they are really fun, and they are really, really like machines. And the last part of my question was, if an organ is like a real person. Well, for me it is, because it has, that air flowing in and out, and, organ breathes because of the bellows and of organ pipes, and sometimes you can really feel that you are creating dialogue not with a machine but with a person. Plus, every organ, depending on who built it, when built it, and where is it standing, has its own character, just like a human being, and its personality. And it's always, nice to experience that personality, to try it out, to try new organs, and to see what works for specific instrument and what does not. So it's basically like, getting acquainted with some new human being. Because every one of us has its own character, which is really unique and wonderful. So basically, organ can be an orchestra, can be a machine, and can be a person. So thank you guys for listening. This was Ausra, and this was my episode number 11, Thinking and Sound. I wishing you a very good day, and I'm looking forward to the next episode. See you next time. Bye bye.